We were together for 2 years. I kindly asked her to stop texting her ex at 2 a.m. She replied, "I'm not property. I have rights." So I packed my bags, retweeted her, and left her alone with her freedom. My name is Noah. I'm 28, and for 2 years, I was in what I thought was a serious, loving relationship with a woman named Olivia. Things started off strong. We met through friends, had that easy kind of chemistry you don't find often, and eventually moved in together after a year. The first few months living together were honestly great. She was fun, outgoing, had this fierce sense of independence that I really admired. But that independence slowly turned into something else. A quiet disregard for boundaries that I didn't see coming until it was staring me right in the face. It all started subtly, about 3 months ago, when her ex Jesse started liking her posts again. First, I thought nothing of it. I'm not the jealous type, and I've never been the guy to police who my partner talks to. But then the likes turned into DMs. Then those turned into late-night conversations. I'd see her laughing at her phone at midnight, or she'd turn it face down anytime I was nearby. Still, I gave her the benefit of the doubt. But then came the moment that shifted everything. We were watching Netflix on a Tuesday night, and her phone lit up with a message preview that said, "Can't stop thinking about that night we..." I didn't even have to read the rest. She saw that I saw it, clutched her phone like it was evidence, and instead of offering an explanation, she simply said, "You don't own me." That sentence echoed in my head for days. All I'd asked was for her to consider how these messages from her ex were making me feel. I asked, calmly, "Can you please stop texting him? Especially these 2 a.m. messages. It makes me uncomfortable." She didn't talk it through, didn't acknowledge my feelings. She just got up, walked into the bedroom, slammed the door, and 20 minutes later, she tweeted, "I'm not property. I'm a person with rights. No one gets to control who I talk to. My body, my choice. Feminism. Toxic masculinity." 67 likes. 23 retweets. Her friends flooded the comments talking about how controlling I was, how she deserved better. I sat there, reading the words, feeling like a stranger had taken over her body. This wasn't a conversation anymore. It was a public statement, a declaration that I was somehow oppressing her for asking for basic respect in a relationship. After a few minutes of staring at that tweet, I simply retweeted it with one line, "Respecting your right to be single." And then I got up, grabbed a bag, and started packing. I called my best friend, Sean, who happened to have a spare room in his apartment. Without even asking what happened, he just said, "Come through." Within 30 minutes, I had my clothes, laptop, important documents, and my PS5 in a duffel. I left my key on the kitchen counter with a note that read, "Rent's paid through the end of the month. After that, it's all yours." I didn't say goodbye. I didn't make a scene. I just left. About 2 hours later, the meltdown began. My phone lit up with messages. "Where are you? Are you seriously leaving over a tweet? We need to talk like adults." Then came the calls, 17 of them back to back. I didn't answer. I wasn't going to engage with someone who broadcasted our relationship issues like a hashtag movement. You want freedom? You got it. And that's when reality hit her. Because as independent as she claimed to be online, she forgot that independence also means responsibility. See, I'd been handling about 70% of our expenses. Not because she was broke. She was saving for her art business, but because I wanted to support her dreams. In 2 years, she sold 3 paintings. But now, with me gone, that rent wasn't getting paid. Neither were the utilities, the subscriptions, the grocery bills, and she realized it quickly. Day 2, the tone of her messages changed. "Hey, the electricity bill is due tomorrow. Are you going to pay it? You can't just abandon your responsibilities. This is financial abuse." I responded once. "I'm respecting your independence. You got this." She didn't like that. 2 nights later, she showed up at Sean's place. Don't ask me how she found the address. Maybe through a mutual friend or just her own sleuthing. Sean's girlfriend, Hannah, answered the door and immediately called for me when she saw Olivia. Makeup running, wearing the same clothes from 2 days ago. She looked like a wreck. You took it too far, she sobbed. It was just a tweet. I didn't mean it like that. What did you mean then? I asked calmly. It was just venting. He means nothing to me. You're overreacting. Then why couldn't you just stop texting him? Because you can't tell me what to do. I didn't tell you what to do. I asked you to stop doing something that hurt me. You chose your ex over our relationship. I'm just respecting that choice. She tried to push past Hannah, desperate to get inside. We need to talk. You can't just leave. Actually, I can. I'm a person with rights. Remember? It got worse. Over the next week, she went nuclear on social media. Made TikToks about spotting narcissists, vague subtweets about men who fear strong women. Her friends started commenting on my Instagram, calling me abusive. But the funniest part? She changed the Netflix password, the Netflix that I paid for. So I canceled the whole thing. Hulu,
HBO Max, Disney Plus.
her gym membership too. All gone. The next morning, WTF? I was in the middle of a series, followed by my trainer just texted me. My membership was declined. My bad. I texted. Just respecting your independence. Jessie, of course, slid right into her comments with "You deserve better, queen." Bro has been living with his mom for 5 years, drives a 2003 Civic with a trash bag window, and thinks a $5 Taco Bell combo is a romantic gesture. But sure, king. Shoot your shot. Then I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. Hi Noah. This is Olivia's mom, Gloria. She's been crying for days. Maybe you could be the bigger person and apologize for overreacting. I responded politely, Hi Gloria. I appreciate your concern. But Olivia made her choice. I'm not interested in reconciling with someone who publicly disrespected our relationship. But she didn't mean it, she replied. You know how she gets. And honestly, she can't afford that apartment alone. She's an independent adult with a job. I'm sure she'll figure it out. Catherine, Olivia's best friend, tried next. She's never been this broken. You're really throwing away 2 years over this. She made a choice, I said. I'm just respecting that. The lease was the final straw. It was in both our names, but I was paying most of the rent. I called the landlord, explained the situation, and offered to either take over the lease solo or break it and pay the penalty. He was cool about it. Said Olivia had been a nightmare tenant before I moved in. Noise complaints, late rent, you name it. We agreed on a 30-day notice. I'd lose the security deposit, but honestly, freedom was worth every penny. I texted Olivia, FYI, gave notice to the landlord. You have 30 days to find a new place. I've already found a studio downtown. Good luck. Her reply, You can't do this. My name is on the lease. This is illegal. Jessie says you can't kick me out. I'll sue you for emotional distress. I'm not kicking you out. I'm leaving. You can talk to the landlord about a new lease. 2 hours later, the landlord wants first and last month's rent plus deposit. That's $4,500. I don't have that. Please don't do this. I'll block Jessie. I swear.
I'm sorry.
Too late. I'd signed a lease for a beautiful studio with in-unit laundry and a gym, and it was cheaper than what I was paying for half our old place. It was almost ironic. The very independence she had been screaming about online was now her greatest enemy. She had no safety net, no backup plan, no idea how to function without someone else handling the responsibilities. And instead of facing that reality with grace, she kept lashing out. Posting cryptic tweets, sharing TikToks with vague hashtags like #healing, #freedom, #toxicx. But the internet wasn't paying her bills. And eventually that caught up to her. Just when I thought the chaos might finally quiet down, I got another message. This time from Catherine again. She said Olivia wanted closure. That she was finally ready to apologize face-to-face and return some of my things. I wasn't sure if it was a trap, but I decided to meet. Only this time I wasn't going alone. I brought Sean with me just in case. We met at a coffee shop downtown, neutral ground. Olivia walked in looking like she was straight out of a magazine. Full makeup, perfect hair, new dress, and the same perfume I had bought her for her last birthday. She smiled softly, holding a small box in her hands. A few of my books, a watch, a couple t-shirts. She sat down across from me and started talking immediately. "I've been doing a lot of thinking," she said. "I realized I messed up. I blocked Jesse. I started therapy. I know I hurt you, but we were so good together, weren't we? Remember Miami? Remember when you said I was your person? I did remember. I remembered every detail. The beach, the laughter, the nights we spent talking about the future. But I also remembered the tweet. I remembered being publicly humiliated because I asked for basic respect. I looked her in the eye and said, I appreciate the apology, but I've moved on. I'm not angry anymore. I just don't want to be in that place again." That's when the mask fell off. Her voice rose, her smile disappeared. "Moved on? Already? It's been 2 weeks. Who is she? You found someone else, didn't you?" "There's no one else," I said calmly. "I'm just focusing on me." "Bull," she snapped. "You cheated, didn't you? That's why you were so paranoid about Jesse." She stood up, knocking her coffee over. People turned. The barista looked ready to call security. Olivia's eyes were wide, wild. She grabbed the box of my stuff and dumped it on the floor. "Keep your stupid stuff," she screamed. "I hope she cheats on you too." I got down, calmly collected my things and said, "This is why we're done. You can't even apologize without turning it into a scene." She was crying now, ugly crying. "You ruined my life. I'm living with my mother. In my childhood bedroom. I'm 28. "No," I said, standing up. "You're living with your mother because you valued Twitter more than our relationship. You're living with your mother because you thought you could have me and your ex. That's on you." Sean and I walked out while she was still screaming. People whispered as we passed. Some looked sympathetic. Others just shocked. Later that night, I got a DM from a username I didn't recognize. It was Jessie. "Bro, I had no idea she had a boyfriend. She told me y'all were basically roommates. That you were growing apart. I'm not that guy. I'm sorry." I thanked him for reaching out. Turns out, he'd blocked her too after seeing one of her TikTok meltdowns and realizing the truth. It's been about a month since then. I'm settled into my new place, finally sleeping peacefully again. Work's been better. I even got a promotion. Started hitting the gym with Sean. Went on a couple of casual dates. Nothing serious, just enjoying my space. Olivia still posts her little quotes, her rants, her indirect messages. Her mom unfriended me on Facebook, but not before sending me one last message. "You broke my baby's heart. The final straw?" Olivia started a GoFundMe titled, "Rebuilding My Life After Financial Abuse." She raised $73, most of it from her mom and Catherine. Look, maybe some people think I was harsh. Maybe, but I wasn't controlling. I didn't demand anything extreme. I didn't yell, I didn't shame, I didn't cheat. I asked one simple thing. Stop texting your ex in the middle of the night. Instead of talking to me, she talked to Twitter. Instead of respecting boundaries, she weaponized buzzwords to make me look like the villain. So I did what I had to do. I gave her the freedom she seemed so desperate for. And in return, I took back my peace. Because I'm not property either. I'm a person. With standards. Like what you just read. Hit that subscribe button, leave a comment below, and stay tuned for more true stories of strength, closure, and redemption.